How's it going? So, a lot of times when I'm giving some guitar lessons and I notice that this first kind of major C chord that you encounter in its, totality, not necessarily like a beginner version. And there's nothing wrong with that at all. They're all viable. They're just triads. They're just different. But I'm saying when you get to that where you can, have it ring out, and you're able to add your fourth finger to this B flat note, you have a C dominant 7 chord. Dominant 7 meaning in the C major scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, back to your root. That 7 is flat. That's what that added B flat note is, what's giving it that dominant 7 sound. So some cool things that you can do with this chord really quick if you're sort of new to guitar, which is what most of my videos are geared towards. Say you take this chord here and you go up to your 8th fret and you play the same chord. That's an F chord. F7, dominant 7. And then you jump up here to your 10th fret and play a G. You're sort of playing a 1-4-5 kind of chord progression. And I was just doing some kind of like funky little strum with it. You can also alternate the C, and this would be your C to G note. You could alternate the bass note. So that's, you could think of it as, your 1-4-5 chord progression, but, just playing it with one position. It's kind of fun. Another way to think of it is sort of like if you're in a minor progression, let's say harmonic minor. Say we're in A. And we're still thinking like 1-4-5. So A, D, and E. When we get to this E chord and the little progression, we'd play an E dominant 7 to give a little more tension. So when we go back home to that one chord, traditionally, like in a minor progression, you'd play, a minor chord there, which is great too. Or if you know your harmonic minor scale, you could mess around with that scale and then kind of resolve back to that E minor, or the E dominant 7 chord. So that's just kind of another fun way to add tension to a minor progression, is when you get to that 5th chord, play a dominant 7 chord. And you can move that. Say we're playing in, I don't know, let's say we're playing in B. Excuse me. So it's movable. And let's see, like another way would be like Dorian. So this would be another minor example, but let's say we're playing, I'll just use A again since we're right here. Say I'm playing an A minor chord, but I'm playing an A minor 7 chord. So if you do it this way, you just remove your pinky. And once again, it's the 7th note in the scale. We're featuring it in the chord. Or you can do it. So this way, I'm using my ring finger to bar the D, G, and B string, and then I use my middle finger to grab the bass note up here at the same 5th fret. So this A note here is just kind of muted. And then from here I would play a D dominant 7 chord. So your basic like Dorian scale, you kind of goof around with that, and land back on that D dominant 7 chord. And that Dorian scale would be like 5th fret, 7th, 8th, 5th, 7th, 4th, 5th, 7th, 4th, 5th, 7th, 5th, 7th, 8th, 5th, 7th, 8th. So there's a lot of half steps in this scale. That's that Dorian sound there, that's 6th. So once again, that was a minor chord into a dominant 7th chord. And it's kind of like a 1-4 chord progression. If we're in A, say we were in say we're in E. I'm going from my E chord to an A chord. Finger's a little rusty right there. Anyhow, really useful movable chord, this dominant 7 shape, and this is always the root. Even if I were to play if I'm on B here, A, B, 2nd fret, that would be my dominant shape there for that B. But then I can move up to C. I add my index finger and the interval just stays the same. Thanks for watching. Hope you get something out of that. Thank you.